Imagine a world without Romeo and Juliet, without Hamlet's haunting question, to be or not to be. Imagine no Othello, no Macbeth, no sonnets that still make our hearts skip a beat. Hard to picture, isn't it? Well, the truth is simple. One man, born over 4 centuries ago, shaped the way we tell stories today. His words echo in classrooms, theaters, films, and even in our daily conversations. His name? William Shakespeare. This is not just a story of a playwright. This is a story of dream and destiny. A journey of a man who began as a boy from a small town, yet went on to become the most celebrated writer in history. So sit back, listen, learn, and get inspired. Because today we unfold the life and legacy of William Shakespeare. Part 1. The beginning, a boy from Stratford. William Shakespeare was born on April 23, 1564, in the market town of Stratford-upon-Avon, England. A small town with cobbled streets, green meadows, and the steady rhythm of River Avon flowing through it. Now, let me call out something important here. When we think of Shakespeare, we imagine a giant of literature, a man of unmatched genius. But at birth, William was just another baby in a middle-class family. His father, John Shakespeare, was a glove maker and a tradesman, while his mother, Mary Arden, came from a farming family. The young William probably ran around the same streets like any other child, played with friends, and listened to stories from his mother. But here's the twist of destiny. William was growing up in a world that was changing rapidly. England was in the heart of the Renaissance, a rebirth of art, science, and literature. The world was asking questions, seeking knowledge, and dreaming beyond boundaries. And in that environment, Shakespeare's imagination was quietly blooming. Part 2. Education, Seeds of a Storyteller. Shakespeare attended the King's New School in Stratford, where he studied Latin, classical literature, grammar, and poetry. Imagine a teenage William sitting in a wooden classroom, reading stories of Roman heroes, Greek tragedies, and epic adventures. These weren't just lessons, they were sparks, lighting the fire inside him. Call out here. Many people think Shakespeare was a self-made genius, but truth is, his schooling gave him the tools. It was here that he discovered the power of storytelling, rhythm of language, and the beauty of poetry. But life wasn't always smooth. Around the age of 14, William's father faced financial troubles. The young boy had to see his family fall from respect to hardship. Yet, instead of breaking him, these struggles gave Shakespeare something priceless, a deep understanding of human suffering, ambition, love, and despair. These lessons, though harsh, would one day echo in his plays. Part 3. The Mysterious Years. Here comes one of the most intriguing chapters in Shakespeare's story, the so-called lost years. From 1585 to 1592, we have almost no record of what William was doing. Was he traveling? Teaching? Working as a soldier or an actor in the countryside? No one knows for sure. But this period is where destiny was shaping him quietly. Scholars believe he might have been observing people, gathering stories, experiencing the world beyond Stratford. Because when he reappeared in London, he wasn't just William from Stratford anymore. He was William Shakespeare, the rising playwright. Part 4. Entering the world of theatre. In 1592, Shakespeare surfaced in London's theatre scene. At first, he was criticized, mocked even. A jealous playwright, Robert Greene, called him an upstart crow, a man who dared to soar among literary eagles without being born noble or educated in universities. But instead of breaking down, Shakespeare worked harder. He wrote, he acted, and soon, his plays began to win hearts. Isn't this inspiring? When people mock you, when they call you unworthy, remember Shakespeare. He took those insults and turned them into motivation. By 1594, he had joined a company of actors, Lord Chamberlain's Men, which later became the famous King's Men. Together, they performed his plays for audiences ranging from common villagers to the royal court. Part 5. Love, Tragedy, and Triumph. Now, let's pause and ask, why did Shakespeare's plays become so powerful? Because he wrote about life. His comedies made people laugh, filled with mistaken identities, witty banter, and joyful endings. Plays like A Midsummer Night's Dream and Much Ado About Nothing were celebrations of love and laughter. But then came the tragedies: Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, King Lear. These were not just stories. They were mirrors of human emotion: love, jealousy, greed, madness, ambition, and despair. Every character he created was real, flawed, and unforgettable. Hamlet's confusion, Macbeth's ambition, Juliet's innocence, Othello's jealousy. They were reflections of us. That's why they still speak to us today. Part 6. The Globe, a Theatre for the People. In 1599, Shakespeare and his company built the Globe Theatre in London. Picture it: a round wooden building, open roof, a stage extending into the crowd. People from every walk of life, nobles, merchants, workers, all standing shoulder to shoulder, laughing, crying, and gasping at Shakespeare's plays. The Globe wasn't just a theater. It was a revolution. A place where stories united people, erased social barriers, and gave everyone a chance to dream. Part 7. The Legacy of Language. Here's a fascinating fact. Shakespeare didn't just write plays. He shaped the English language itself. He created over 1,700 new words. Words like lonely, majestic, gloomy, radiance, generous, and countless more. He also gave us expressions we still use: break the ice, wild goose chase, heart of gold. Think about it. 4 centuries later, we still speak in Shakespeare's voice without even realizing it. That's not just writing. That's immortality. Part 8. Personal life. The man behind the words. Behind the genius, there was a man. At 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, and together they had 3 children, Susanna, and twins Hamnet and Judith. Sadly, Hamnet died young, and many believe his grief inspired the depth of Shakespeare's later tragedies. Though he spent much of his life in London, he never forgot Stratford. Toward the end, he retired to his hometown, living a quieter life in a house called New Place. Part 9. The Final Act. On April 23, 1616, the same date as his birth, William Shakespeare passed away. He was just 52 years old. But in those years, he gave the world something priceless: words that would never die. He was buried in Stratford's Holy Trinity Church, where his grave still lies today. And on his tombstone, an epitaph warns against moving his bones. It's as if even in death, Shakespeare wanted to guard his resting place. Yet his spirit, his stories, his words roam free across the world. Part 10. The Eternal Legacy. Think about this. A boy from a small town, with no royal blood, no university degree, no privilege, became the greatest writer the world has ever seen. Shakespeare's legacy is not just in books or theaters. It's in movies, in music, in speeches, in everyday conversation. He taught us that love is powerful, ambition can destroy, laughter heals, and destiny is shaped by choices. More than 400 years later, we still stage his plays, study his sonnets, and find inspiration in his words. That, my friends, is not just history. That is immortality. So, what can we learn from Shakespeare's story of dream and destiny? That greatness can come from anywhere. That words have the power to change the world. That even if you are mocked, doubted, or forgotten for a while, if you keep chasing your dream, destiny will find you. Remember this: you don't need to be born extraordinary to leave an extraordinary legacy. You just need courage, imagination, and the will to keep writing your story. Because like Shakespeare taught us, all the world's a stage, and we are merely players. So play your part well and make your story unforgettable. William Shakespeare's life teaches us 3 powerful lessons. Dreams can rise from humble beginnings. You don't need wealth or privilege to make history. Turn challenges into opportunities. From the plague to personal loss, Shakespeare transformed obstacles into art. Legacy lives through impact. Shakespeare is gone, but his words live forever because he touched hearts, not just minds. So, dear listeners, the next time you face doubt, Remember the boy from Stratford who became the voice of the world.